What's going on, everybody? Back with another Lords of the Fallen update. Looks like a new patch just dropped today, Thursday, November 9th. Update version 1.1.310. And this patch seems to be very huge. So we're going to take some time here and go through some of the patch notes and kind of see what's been added to the game this week. So without further ado, let's get into it. Greetings, lamp bearers. Earlier this week, we released our 2023 free content roadmap, showcasing the ongoing optimizations and enhancements we'll be making to Lords of the Fallen, as well as the updates based on community feedback that will be dropping on the upcoming months. Today's weekly update introduces over 100 significant tweaks and improvements across the board. Alongside this, it also includes the first inventory expansion pass, a full revamp for the Surrendered Monarch boss encounter, online functionality for Steam Deck, further HDR improvements, and we're also very pleased to confirm key quest items will no longer be affected by inventory limitation. As requested by some of you, we've also added the option to hide damage numbers on the HUD for a more immersive experience. By popular demand, while it wasn't included in the initial roadmap release, we're happy to announce work has begun to allow to recustomize your character's appearance in-game, currently scheduled to release this side of the new year. This feature will come with its own mini quest to unlock it. So it looks like a lot of different things were added. 100 new tweaks, HDR improvements, boss encounter improvements, HUD layout improvements. Also coming soon, the ability to recustomize your character's appearance in game, which I'm sure a lot of people were not super happy with the initial character they created, and maybe they wanted to do something different. So now's your chance. Now you can do it. Not in this patch, but coming soon. So let's continue on. Let's dive into the patch notes. All right, let's get started with inventory. Unique items couldn't be picked up when the inventory was full. Now, key quest items and unique items will be picked up even if the inventory is full, exceeding the inventory's limit as necessary. This applies to keys, spells, quest items, armor types, gestures, etc. This change should also resolve any potential issues with quest lines where a required item couldn't be picked up due to an inventory full message. Additionally, starting from patch 1.1.310, if the inventory is full, the items will drop to the ground so they can be picked up later. Please note that the stash expansion is still in progress and will be available later this year. HDR update. HDR has been further tweaked to improve an even wider range of colors. Steam Deck. Online functionality is now fully operational on Steam Deck. Steam Deck no longer crashes when the Scarlet Shadow spawns. Valve drivers should automatically update when you start the game. Stability. Fixed a crash that could occur when accessing the Shrine of Aureus when switching to offline mode. Fixed a crash that could occur when quitting to the main menu while being in a multiplayer session. Fixed a blocker that could prevent players from finishing the game with the Umbral ending. I didn't know about that one, but that sucks. All right, let's move on to performance. So optimize certain actors in the game to increase performance in several areas. Optimize performance in Skyrest by reducing cast shadows without reducing visual quality. Just glancing over the rest of these, it looks like they've reduced the cast shadows without reducing visual quality in the following: Penitent Path, Skyrest Bridge, Manse, Red Corpse Church, Lower Calrath. Addition to that, they optimize performance in Castle Bramis while being in Umbral. They optimize performance for Wither entity spawning without reducing visual quality, and they optimize collision meshes in Lower Calrath, the bridge area, to reduce collision counts and increase performance. All right, let's continue on. Next, we have PvP. Fixed an issue with fog walls that would allow players to leave a Crimson Ritual area. So I didn't realize that was an issue, but seems like you can leave the allowed area for PvP, which, yeah, you can just go explore someone else's game at that point. Added music to Crimson Rituals to increase tension in PvP. Improve the UI for finishing Crimson Rituals. Added additional descriptions for failed connections for Crimson Rituals. Revenge. Improve the UI for finishing revenges. Balancing PvE. Stomping on drowners, hounds, and sparrows now instantly kills them. Braided Ring. Summon allies can use more ranged attacks before disappearing. The ring used to add +5, but now it adds +10 with this change. Pendant of Atrophy. Umbral sorceries can be cast with insufficient mana, but at the cost of wither damage. Equipping this amulet now also reduces your withered health regain rate when you deal damage. Withered health cost is increased. Umbral Eye of Loesch. While charging a heavy attack, all damage is received as wither damage, and your posture cannot be broken. Equipped in this eyeball now also reduces your withered health regain rate when you deal damage. So that's a nerf for this, which sucks because I used to use this a lot, but it's okay. Umbral Eye of Lydia, the Numb Witch. Use ranged weapons without ammunition, but at the cost of withered health. Equipped in this amulet now reduces your withered health regain rate when you deal damage. Hurt reactions sometimes triggered in the wrong direction. This is now fixed. Next up, we have bosses. Now the trio in Dark Spot waits more diligently for the player to be at the exact arena space before triggering the whole combat. The Sundered Monarch boss encounter has received a full revamp, and as a result, it is more challenging. Achieved without tweaking his HP or damage output, pure behavioral upgrade. It's just tougher, basically, guys. Improve the hitboxes of the following bosses to better support throwable weapons. Dervla, Sundered Monarch, Lightkeeper, Cleric, Hush Saint, Reinhold, and Spurned Progeny. Enhance the combat camera behavior to prevent looking down when being close to the target. Lightkeeper could sometimes get out of bounds in one of the encounters, leading to him just leaving the fight. Adjusted the trigger areas for the Skin Stealer boss to prevent the player from hitting him from a distance without reaction. All right, next up we got AI. Fife of the Chilled Curse, adjusted and added leashing volumes. Ments of the Hallowed Brothers received additional leashing volumes and added new ones. Added leashing volumes for all enemies at the cistern. Also adjusted 2 triggers to account for edge cases in which enemies would be unresponsive if you traverse the level backwards. Improved nav mesh and collision of Forsaken Fen where the fallen tree is. Changed nav link position for better navigation going down one of the platforms in Pilgrim's Perch. Added nav modifier volumes to avoid the AI from taking a dangerous path and getting stuck in the cellar of Mance. Added nav modifier volumes to prevent Umbral enemies from getting stuck with collision in the cellar at Mance of the Hallowed Brothers. Added additional AI blocking volumes at Red Corpse to avoid Umbral enemies spawning above dangerous collision. We want our AIs to be safe, or they might resort to their syndicate against our level designers. Tower of Penance, adjusted and added leashing volumes. Skybridge Rest, adjusted and added leashing volumes. Adjusted spawning boxes for the enemy encounters before the Lamp Hunter area in Fitzroy's Gorge. Applying wither damage to Fortunatrix enemies sometimes did not cause them to trigger aggro on the player. Now they always react properly. Further refinement of leashing volumes in Upper Calrath. Adjusted and added leashing volumes at Skyrest Bridge and Pilgrim's Perch, the upper area. Adjusted leashing volumes for all enemies in Empyrean. Adjusted and added leashing volumes at the Abbey of the Hallowed Sister. Adjusted leashing volumes at Brimmis Castle. New leashing pass on different enemies and encounters in Lower Calrath. New leashing pass on different enemies and encounters at Fitzroy Gorge. The Chaser could use some floating nav mesh at Red Corpse Village. Nav mesh has been cleared. Second pass on leashing volumes for Red Corpse, Pilgrim's Perch, Forsaken Fen, Fife of the Chilled Curse, Tower of Penance, and Brimmis Castle. Ments of the Hallowed Brothers had a new leashing pass on different enemies and encounters. He had a now place or upgraded animation with better alignment, regardless of the action the player was doing before the interaction. Corrected a nav mesh on Upper Calrath for improvement AI navigation. Let's keep going. Umbral. Tweak the distance of Soulflay versus UI icon. In some cases, the interaction icon appeared, but the Soulflay was not triggering the desired effect. Now they match in all cases. Fixed offset it, is that offset? I don't know. Fixed offsetted particles that could sometimes occur on Soulflayable Umbral bellies, containers. Fixed offsetted particles that could sometimes occur on Soulflayable doors. Fixed a bug in which Axiom items would sometimes fall through the Umbral ground under certain conditions while transitioning, making them only pickable in Axiom. Level design. Abbey of the Hollowed Sisters tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure they match the invasion fog walls. Empyrean tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure that they match the invasion fog walls. This follows a code request to improve disconnections during host/invader connection. Lower Calrath tweaked existing outer collision boxes to ensure they match the invasion fog walls. This follows the code request. Bremis Castle, they also did the same thing with fog walls. Collisions. Adjusted Umbral platforms so players won't get stuck between them and Bremis Castle. Fixed a collision bug in Forsaken Fen to prevent skipping of Hushed Saint. I know a lot of people probably want to do that, but I found them actually pretty easy. So, fixed some asset collisions in Lower Calrath, making it possible both to clip and blocking the players from getting to the other side. Changed collision presets to different blocking volumes to allow projectiles to pass through in Red Corpse's church catacombs. Made the rotating stairs players collision taller in Bremis Castle. Collision tweaks in Forsaken Fen near the vestige of the Pale Butcher. Sunless Skeen adds some collisions that would not let projectiles pass in some narrow spaces. These have been fixed. Bremis Castle has seen 2 places adjusted to prevent the player from getting stuck under certain conditions. Bremis Castle collision fixes for an Umbral bridge when transitioning from Axiom. Fife of the Chilled Curse has seen some tweaked collisions in the cannon for smoother navigation. Blocker fixed in Lower Calrath in the Smelter Tower where the players were getting stuck in the small areas. The player could get in and out of the game at the Abbey of the Hollowed Sisters and get a bit stuck. Also, it could get floaty and have collision issues due to collisions, so blocking volumes were added to improve and block. In Abbey of the Hollowed Sisters, there was a corpse with the wrong collision. The collision has been removed and placed manually with structure detail so it doesn't block the pickup. In the cistern, an AI could get on top of the collision and get stuck while doing a charge attack. There is a spot in Lower Calrath where the player can get stuck a bit due to a corpse on top of the table to block all collision presets. The collision preset has been changed to structure detail, and now the player can move freely at the spot. The waterfall cave at Pilgrim's Perch had a rock with block all that messed with the player's navigation. The collision preset has been changed to structure detail, so it does not interfere with navigation, but the player can't overlap with the rock. Added blocking volumes in Fitzroy's Gorge to improve nav mesh and prevent enemies from getting stuck after falling in certain places. Fife of the Chilled Curse fix for collision on the canyon sublevel. All right, let's continue on. Lighting. Mance of the Hollow Brothers has received an additional lighting pass to add extra detail with no performance impact. Red Corpse Village has received an additional lighting pass. Lower Calrath, Forsaken Fen, Pilgrim's Perch have all received additional lighting pass to add extra detail and no performance impact. Lighting in Red Corpse Church Crypt has been fixed to eliminate the visibility leaking in one of the tunnels caused by spotlight. There was a vista at the Fife of the Chilled Curse that triggered fog too early. That was also fixed. Cinematics. Fixed the missing lantern dynamics during cinematics that cleansed the beacon at the Fife of the Chilled Curse. A small camera clipping issue during Dervla's second phase cinematic has been resolved. Removed a couple of nails that were obstructing the camera view during Dervla's phase 2 cutscene. Next we got UI. We've resolved the issue where the Empyrean area name wouldn't appear on screen when entering the area. Addressed a problem causing significant delays when quitting to the main menu under certain circumstances. In response to community feedback, you now have the option to disable damage output numbers from the setting menu. Fix the bug that prevented players from buying more than one unique item from faction shrines. The Crystallis purchase bug plus the Duralium chunk. All endings now correctly display the unlocked class. Previously, in some cases, it would continue showing the Radiant Purifier even when unlocking the correct one. So I'm guessing when you would finish the Umbral ending, you would still get the Purifier instead of the Umbral class. So yeah, they fixed that. Key rebindings and language selection will no longer reset after each version update. All right, next we got audio. Enhanced ambiance transitioning in Mance, Tower of Penance. Pilgrim's Perch, Forsaken Fen. And with that, we are wrapping version 1.1.310 patch notes. Check out our roadmap here and see what's coming next. In light we walk. So yeah, guys, that's pretty much it. That's all the patch notes for this week. If you guys found this helpful, if you liked the video, please consider liking and subscribing to help out the channel. And I'll be back next week to read the next patch notes and anything else that pops up in between. I'll also be back with that news as well. So I'll catch you guys on the next video. Appreciate it.